city lights?
No, it's perfectly fine. You can.
What is the question?
Like for example, here when I got the contract for apartment 114, the contract is very clear. It specifies the dates that I have to pay, the amount of money that I have to pay for the deposit, and more or less how I need to return the apartment or the property that I'm renting, right? But I feel that I haven't gotten like, do you feel that it would be possible to have like an average maximum price that it costs to paint the wall, or an average maximum price that it costs to fix a drill hole or something of that sort, like to provide a little bit more transparency when it comes to contract management?
Well, in some sense, I think that's a great idea, but the problem is it depends on the company who is coming to do all these maintenance issues in the building.
Absolutely.
Because in some situations, we get people from outside to come. If the floor needs sanding, we get people rented to the building to sand the floors. And we don't always know the prices for these things beforehand.
Of course.
Because when they come, they have to see the damage on the floor. They say how much it is, does it need sanding, does it need some kind of protection after the sanding and stuff like this.
Mm-hmm.
And when you do the move out report, you actually just have an eye on, okay, you can see a spot on the wall, or you can see that there's a scratch somewhere or something, but you don't know the depth of the situation until you're standing there. Because this scratch on the wall, if it's something you can't get off, or the paint doesn't cover this, you maybe need to paint it like 3 or 4 times.
Of course.
So it's really, really hard to estimate the prices beforehand, because you never know what the situation is until you're standing there.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think I sort of knew that it would be sort of like that way, the answer, because it's like with most properties, or when someone's building a building from scratch, they always have like 30% of overcost and stuff like that. But do you think it would be easy to have like some sort of platform for you as a manager of a building like this, like where there's different suppliers where they can sort of like, is it like not a survey, it's like when you have, we could request where you bid to fix a room, like for example there's 3 people that are good at sanding floors and they have a good reputation, and you have 3 jobs at this building, and would it be good for you to have like 3 potential suitors to come here and offer different prices, and then you choose according to rating and stuff like that?
That's a great idea, but the problem in that situation is, in some situations we have where it has to be done here and now, I can't wait 3 days for an estimate. And in some situations, like if you contact some people, you're sitting and you're waiting, and I'm like, excuse me, I called you yesterday, when am I going to get it? I called you yesterday, when am I going to get it?
Absolutely.
And if somebody's moving in at a deadline, I can't wait until he gives me a quote. I have to take the first one and say, okay, this is what we need, we have to get it done right now.
Totally.
And in that situation, you don't know if it costs this much or this much. It's always a gamble in these situations, because you're dealing with actual real live people. Somebody giving a service and somebody taking an apartment, and what do I say to you? You can't move in the first because I have to save like 1,000 crowns. It's not going to happen.
Totally.
I promised you a contract, you have a deadline, it's the first, you moving in the first. If the other person has to cost 1,000 crowns more because you have a deadline to move in the first, the contract is more important for me,
of course,
than the 1,000 crowns the other person has to pay.
Totally. No, I perfectly understand that part as well. But I feel that with technology, probably it can bridge a little bit of those gaps, and maybe improve communication between the suppliers for you. And as well, I don't know, maybe, for example, everyone takes pictures before they move in. Maybe there's some parameters that pictures must have before taking them that both the landlord and the tenant agree on. So like basically you can compare the before and after to the same types of pictures. I know that the damage can only be assessed once the person is on the ground and actually in the apartment, but it also can help a little bit, or I don't know, in your experience, it's useless to have pictures.
No, well, it's not useless, but let's just take, for instance, if this was your floor,
yeah,
and I notice this is a damage,
mm-hmm.
I take a picture of this damage when you move in let's just say 2018,
yeah.
Now you move out in 2020, damage. When people come to sand the floors, do I say, well, this damage, what is the quote for this damage? Is that like 10 crowns I take off because everything else is ruined? The floor has to be sanded. But you have a picture, oh, the floor was damaged. Yeah, it was damaged right here. and that's like, as I said, 15 crowns. But what about the rest of the floor?
Of course, yeah.
You still need to sand the floor, and even though you have a picture the floor was damaged, it's more damaged after 2 years. So in some sense, the picture is actually worthless because you're going to make damage in the apartment anyhow. I take a little scratch on the wall, for instance, you take a picture of it, fine. You have a scratch on the wall, but excuse me, what about this one? Do I just paint here and leave this? No, I paint the whole wall.
Mm-hmm.
So you see, it's really hard to estimate because of course I can say, well, there's damage for, let's estimate 1,000 crowns in the apartment right now, but when you move in, it's 1,000, but when you move out, I mean, then it can be 5,000.
No, totally, and I understand the part as well with the speed between the apartment being empty and the new tenant arriving, and you need to answer to the new person because you need to keep, like, it makes total sense. To get a little bit away from the deposit management and all of that, how do you think that technology might be able to help you? In which parts do you have, or do you struggle with the management of 150 apartments here, I don't know, 100 there, 200 over there, like as a manager, because it's not easy communicating with all of these people, and I feel that you've been very responsive to me, but there's always people saying, Tali doesn't answer, but it's people that are like very restless and they don't have any patience, they don't see they don't see your side of the story either. So like I'm asking this like to see if we can provide any sort of solution to any of those repetitive or recurring problems that you might have in these buildings that you manage.
Well, in my opinion, I think that social media is great. Mm-hmm. I love the communication ways that they provide. But when that is said, I absolutely also hate them.
I know.
If you imagine, like, the critics you can get from one person spreading a word because I just haven't answered within the 3 hours that daddy usually answers or mommy usually answers, mm-hmm. or do the things that they want right here, right now, it is like unimaginably hard to deal with. And I really do suffer sometimes because I think it's personalized on me. But I know in the end it's not. It's a company and it's from the company's point of view. They're taking it, but I'm also a person.
Of course.
And I do have a lot of buildings, and I have this one that's 131. I have a few over here. We have some in other cities. And to manage all these people, individual people, it's 130 plus your partner or whatever living in the building.
Absolutely.
That's a lot of people to manage. And it's just impossible. I mean, you can't really answer them after 5 minutes. And some people, they're writing to this email, that email, Facebook, Messenger, whatever media they can find. And it's the same question you're asking, and they're answering 5 times. And I can't remember who it is. Even though I can see, okay, I think I answered this before, but I'm not sure. And the worst thing is, if I answer something else. If I answer the first one, I answer, okay, I can make it on Monday. Great, we have a plan, Monday. And then because I can't remember, because you're writing on Messenger, my Monday is booked. Then I say, okay, I can do it on Wednesday. And then they write back, but you promised me Monday. Yeah, but you've written me 5 different times. I've scheduled you in 5 times. So in the end, I can't remember, did I schedule it in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday? Because if I answer 5 times, my calendar is booked 5 times.
Of course. And
then there's a miscommunication because, what day did I say? What day did you think I would come?
Totally. And email isn't very practical for scheduling, I agree. And especially if you receive 6 emails about 6 different subjects from the same person, and
they might call me, and then I said drop me a mail, because again, if somebody calls me, this is Peter, can you come and fix my toilet? Peter who? From what building? Where? What is it about? Yeah, but don't you know it's Peter? Yeah, who? Peter who? Can you write me a mail? Then they write, Peter, my toilet's gone, broken. Okay, where are you living? What's the situation? I mean, then I have to write again. Okay, who are you? What building are we talking about? Blah, blah, blah. It's taking my time. If you don't write a specific mail hello, I'm Peter, I'm living in Posthuset 114, my toilet's broken, can you come and help me? Marcy can come in if it's blah, blah, blah. Bam, that's right to the point, I can answer right away, sure, we have a deal. But if you're writing like mixed messages and you're writing 5 different, my time I'm answering you, it's like, okay, Monday, my calendar, fine. Over here, okay, I don't really have time to say how are you, it's a great weekend, have a great time, blah, 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 because I'm just so swamped in mails, it's just, okay, let's get it over with next.
Of course.
And the communication's a little harsh because
No.
I really don't have time to say everything's fine and how's the weather and all these stuff. And then when you write out a piece of paper, you're writing out moving out procedures and you're writing all this communication, it's taking time to make this communication. Bam, you send it out. 5 seconds after, somebody is, what does this mean? What do I do here? If I move out, when I move out, I mean, come on, you're moving out in 2019. Can you ask me in 2019? I mean, seriously. And it's 131 people. When I wrote out the Techem thing, it was like, my God, I got so many emails, I didn't know what to do. I was like nearly crying at night because I really couldn't manage all these emails. And it's the same questions you keep answering all the time, and I'm thinking, okay, I've written it, please read what I've written.
Sorry.
Yeah, but when you're sitting on the other side, when you're a tenant in the building, you think everything is about you and it has to go right here, right now. And I'm thinking, yeah, but I'm not your mom, I'm not your dad, I'm a landlord. You live in a building, figure it out yourself. In some situations, come on. Ask your mom, ask your dad, ask your neighbor, ask the community, ask somebody else. But it's always asking me a lot of questions, which is really not on my table. I'm just a landlord.
Of course. I can see both sides, especially when it's a building full of expats.
Yeah.
And for me, for example, many times I don't know Danish, right? I don't know who to call. Like we're very lost as well when we come here. So I understand why some people are very intense. I don't know if I've been very intense so far, but I understand that some of us might be, and I understand the overwhelming amount of emails that you get. Do you feel that there's many things or many of these subjects that are being discussed that are very repetitive?
Yes.
And that could be managed in a different manner? Like, I don't know, I don't want to like sort of...
For example, between the neighbors. Do you think some of the problems could be solved between the people living here?
I definitely do. And a lot of situations when somebody asks me a question, I always say to them, okay, can you try and take care of it yourself? Write out on Facebook, go and ask your neighbor, knock on the door. I mean, somebody is also maybe studying the same thing you're studying. Maybe you could ask them for help, or the Danish person beside you if you don't really know anybody in the neighborhood and stuff like this. But still the question is already on my table, so I still have to address this question. And sometimes when you're reading an email and it's like this long, you're going like this, and then you're saying, okay, what can I answer? And then you don't answer everything. Because I really don't have time to like all the emails, so it's, and then, okay.
Do you feel it could be possible to have some sort of platform, software, whatever, that you, when a person's moving in, you say, before you contact me, you need to address this place. If you have, you can go with your apartment, click here if you have a problem with, it's a repairman issue, right? Or it's a damaged, whatever. And you say it's water pipes, electricity, and then it narrows it down. And then when it gets to, I don't know, the toilet, you have some suppliers or some person to call that's other than you, or then it sends an email to you, because then you know that it's very narrow and it says toilet repair apartment 114, and it just keeps it simple for you. And the person as well receives some sort of notification, just a check mark that you actually read it and that you're on it. And there's an estimated time of fixing the problem. Just so you don't have to go into the hassle of replying and having to be nice and wasting all that time in the useless wording. Do you feel that in that way that could possibly work? I don't know, it's just me throwing ideas on the table.
I do have that system. On one of the other buildings, I have that exact system you're speaking about. Mm-hmm. But the issue with that is you still have to reply them. Even though it's very systematic, everything is filled out, where they live, what the point is, blah, 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 and I can reply and say, okay, I can come, I can send my house on Monday. I still have to send them. I can send Miles on Monday, maybe go into the apartment, or are you home, and then they have to wait for a reply, and if they don't reply within a day or something, or they do reply within a day, then I have the 131 other emails, and then I get to this one in 2 days, and then oh, my washing machine doesn't work, I called you 2 days ago, it's still not working, and then I have to reply back, you didn't answer me because Miles wasn't allowed to come in, blah, blah, blah. And then 2 days go again, because before they reply me, and back and forth. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Even though we have an automatic system, it's never so automatic. You can just say Thursday, 2 o'clock.
Absolutely, because it's coordinating schedules and it's quite difficult.
Everything back and forth takes time. And after that, I have to call for a plumber, or I have to call for a new machine. Before I get to the company with the machines, well, it takes a week before they deliver it. I have to reply back to them, your machine will be there within a week. The machine doesn't come in some situation because the factory can't. I have to write back, the machine's not coming, we can reschedule, what day do you need, blah, blah, blah. I have to reply to the factory and ask them what day will the machine come. Can you see it?
Mm-hmm.
And this is only one person asking one little thing. And I have 200 other emails asking a lot of other things. It's a non-stop situation. Sometimes I'm sitting 3 o'clock in the goddamn morning answering emails.
Yeah, I know.
It's never ending.
I know. Do you want to ask something to Tali? Do you have anything in mind?
Just getting back to the deposit part. So you mentioned that if there is a problem with the floor, you have to do the whole floor. If there is a problem with the painting, you have to paint the whole wall. So we weren't thinking about exact prices. We were just thinking about giving just some estimations.
I have actually written out in the moving out report an estimation on it, and when I've written that out, I got a reply back that I wasn't prepared for, because everybody was saying, how can you estimate that? Who says that I scratched the floor? Who says that I had paint on the wall? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking, oh my God, you asked for a price, I'm giving you a price, and afterwards you're saying I can't estimate it? I mean, seriously, you're asking me to estimate it, then I estimate it, and then you're giving me a reply that I cannot estimate it because you haven't moved out yet? I can never win. Never, ever win. Somebody wants this, somebody wants that, and I'm right in the middle. I can't do anything that it's good for you because it's bad for somebody else. When you're dealing with so many people, you have to handle people differently all the way through. Even though you're saying the same thing, you have to give the response in different ways. And some people, they just don't understand what you're writing, even though you're writing it like a 5-year-old could understand this. And then sometimes I'm thinking, okay, you're going to school, this is the future of Denmark, and seriously asking this question? I mean, what's the future going to be? Okay, and then my husband says, well, that's why they're going to school. And I said, okay, sure. Don't you not, they're going to learn it someday.
No, like, definitely, like, you're giving us a lot of information to work with, and there's definitely a problem.
There is.
We have no idea, like, how to fix it, but we'll try to help you, because we understand that you're overwhelmed and that you have a very stressful job. And it's all about bridging all those communication gaps.
Yes.
And there's a lot of stuff that can be simplified. I think that there is. It's just a matter of starting to work and getting communication from both sides and seeing if anything can actually be done.
Yeah, but a great example is, a lot of people say, okay, build up a website. Okay, my website, it was really quick. I just had to build it because somebody said, make a website. Put all the things you always get questions on. Write it on the website. It's on the website, and when I write to people from Boligportalen, I write to them, okay, go to the website, look, if you have any questions, look under this. I'm very specific. You can see pictures here, you can find questions for this there, blah, 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 answers, and send it 2 seconds after. Can you live 2 people in the apartment? You can live 2 people in the apartment. I read what I just sent to them. I'm writing, you can live 2 people in the apartment. The question is, can you live 2 people in the apartment? And I'm thinking, my God, couldn't you even read my email? I have to answer it,
No.
And sometimes you get really frustrated. I'm thinking, seriously?
There's no faith in humanity. No, I get it. No, and we, since we've been able to, like, it's only second semester, but we know that platforms or websites are not the solution on their own. It's about changing people's behavior in general.
It is.
Otherwise, it won't work. It's not like, no, let's put out a nice little thing with cute buttons, and no, it doesn't work that way. It's
Everyone
about
is just accepting terms and conditions unconditionally.
it's about actually changing habits, but it's by knowing your side and knowing the other people's side and actually communicating where you actually get to that proper fit that helps both. But we know that you're super busy, that you probably have to reply to 131 emails now, so no, we appreciate the time that you gave us, Tali. Like, it's very helpful, and hopefully I'm going to Colombia tomorrow, but I'll come back like by the end of October. Maybe we can meet again and have an update regarding like these ideas and what we brainstormed and stuff like that. But we appreciate it, seriously.
I'm really open for if somebody could give a very good solution on this, but I think it is, as you said, you have to change your mentality. You have to change the communication that you're receiving and the way that you're putting out the communication. As I said before, you take it one way when I say something, you may take it another way when I say something, but in some situations when there's a room full of people, you can only express yourself one way.
Absolutely.
And I don't remember if you play those games where you're whispering in somebody's ear and it goes all the way through. The end story is like, oh my God.
Absolutely.
It's a little the same thing, because you're writing one thing and the receiver takes it another way.
Totally.
The message I'm sending is not what you got. And that you have to change. Because even though I'm writing something or saying something, it's not necessarily you understand the message.
It would be, do you think that I'm going way overboard, like, do you think that there can be any data mining that can be done from the email and extracting the most?
For sure. We can data mine basically from anything.
It's just something that we're in these classes that are about data science and big data in general, and there's these geniuses at the university. We're not geniuses, but we know geniuses. And what they do is that they scrape all of this like Facebook social data and stuff like that. But we could do the same for your email and put it into an Excel spreadsheet and start recognizing what are the most recurrent problems and sort of make it into a sensical way and probably offer solutions for the most critical ones that are probably just get you that part. Just 5%. Start cleaning 5% of those problems and making it easier to manage. I don't know, it's just throwing ideas on the table. We'll see where that gets us. But again, we appreciate it a lot, Tali, and good luck with that.
Good. I think it's actually been fun, somebody asking my side of the story, because it's always my side of the story that gets the most critics. And a lot of people, they don't really understand the pressure you're under because you only see it from one side. You're saying, I'm one person, why can't you answer me? Well, this is the reason why. And even though some people, they say, well, then you're overmanaged, maybe you should get some help. The next problem is if you get some help, if you're two persons sitting here answering emails.
The assistant didn't answer, or you answered both.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or she's answering one thing, I'm answering something else, and then you have, again, the schedule on Tuesday, I booked you on Monday. Can you see that? Then we have to, my assistant and I sit and speak back and forth, then it's a waste of my time because I'm asking her a lot of questions when I could have answered some emails. So that's not the solution. It's not the solution just to have more people.
No. I agree. It's
you really have to find out how to communicate in one email. I mean, make it so simple. What's your question? What's the answer? Finished. Next. But it's not that way. It's always replying. Sometimes I have a string of, I think one person I had a string, and I'm not exaggerating, I had a string on 175 emails to communicate just a few simple things on a contract.
Well,
at the end I was like, okay, you're not even getting this apartment because I just wasted so much time on you for this apartment. I could have gave it away 10 times on the time that I'm spending on just one person. And then they have to come and see the apartment. Oh, I can't tomorrow, but can I come Wednesday? And then you book a day on Wednesday, I drive all the way in here, and then they don't even have the nerve to call me and say, well, I'm not coming anyways. I wasted my whole day sitting here waiting for you. I mean, don't you have any respect that there's a person on the other side that has a busy day? I mean, it's so disrespectful. And then, oh, well, it's no problem, you were here anyways. No, I wasn't. I had a meeting. I canceled just to come here because I want to give you an apartment.
Of course.
just understand there's a person on the other side. It's just not a building.
No,
It's people.
totally. It's about being empathetic towards the other side, and we only see towards ourselves, right? Our own issues. We don't
Yeah.
regard the other. And I know there's always two sides. That's why I wanted to talk to you, because it's very easy to just say, "Oh, my landlord is just a scammer." Oh, no, it's very easy to just blurt nonsensical stuff online, but that's not helping improve any of the communication or anything.
But that's not for me, because this thing, I have built it from the ground, and I absolutely really love this building and the people in this building. I mean, I can name nearly everyone in this building. If you walk on the street, that's one from my building. He lives in 114. This guy lives here. That guy, and people are so impressed because I really do have a heart for this building. I like the people here. I like my job, but I just don't like the criticism, and it really hits me.
I believe you.
Because I am really doing everything for these people. I'm answering every email that I possibly can, even though it's not my thing, because I'm just a landlord. My husband says, "Oh, you're doing just too much of a job. They're just so spoiled and do this and that." Maybe, but I like it.
I know you do. Thank you very much, Daddy.
Yeah.
Thank you very
And
much.
thank you for coming. It's really nice to share my point of view.
No, we appreciate it, and you gave us a lot to think about, and it's great because where there's a problem, there's a business opportunity, and it's about helping others as well, and I love it, and now the tree just keeps expanding.
Yeah, there is so much more problem, but we can come up with so much more solutions then.
Totally. But thank you.
Okay, thank you for coming. And
Thank
good
you
luck
very
with it. And if there's any questions and you have time, just let me know and I'll.
Perfect. We will.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks.
Alright, now we really need to decide what do we want to solve.
Exactly. But it's cool because
It's really good.
yes.